If they pull back, you pull back. If they start texting less, you start texting less. Now, why does this work? Why does this work? Because if the man is really into you, he's gonna be like, oh, what's going? He's gonna notice that you're doing it. He's going to notice it. And so that's what you do. You mirror the behavior, right? And so number one is you communicate your desire because you plant the seed. Number two, you mirror his behavior. Number three, you interrupt the pattern. Number three, you interrupt the pattern. Now, what do you mean? All right, I'll explain it to you. Woo! Okay, every relationship has a pattern. On Fridays, we do this. Wednesdays, we watch the game. Saturdays, you call. And what you do is you have a pattern in the flow of the relationship. Okay? Now, what happens is you get used to the flow of the relationship, right? And so what you do is you have to interrupt that pattern, because what patterns are is it's called conditioning, psychological conditioning, right? And so when you interrupt the pattern, for instance, let me give you an example of it. You know how like you might go out of town with your girlfriends and you'll call him prior to going out of town. Say, yeah, me and my girlfriends, we out of town. I'll call you when I get to the Marriott, right? Well, this time to interrupt the pattern, he's used to that conditioning. Well, now you don't tell him you're going out of town. You tell him when you get there, or you tell him when you get back. He's calling you, and so when he's sending you mixed signals. What you have to do is interrupt the pattern by creating and doing something different. And all of a sudden, if he does not care about the pattern interrupt, then that tells you he's just not into you. It's just not. I'm just being honest. And last but not least, number four, the fourth thing you do is you must reduce or limit access to you. You must reduce or limit access to you. What I mean, because here's the thing. I just gave you an example of interrupt. Oh, no, somebody wanted another example of interrupting the pattern. For instance, another pattern might be you always call in the morning when you get out from work. When you get home, when you get in the office, you get settled in, you always text him. Well, that's a pattern that he's used to. And so you got to stop that, interrupt that pattern, and you got to do something different. Okay? That's what patterns are. And last but not least is you have to limit or reduce access to you. You see, the thing is, if I've got access to you, if I constantly have access to you, then what happens is nothing's going to change my conditioning, because I already have access to the thing that I want. You have to limit or reduce access. Hey, look, you can't go over there every time he wants you to go over there. You can't give him that thing every time. You can't let him bend you over and slap that ass every time he wants to. You don't answer the call. Hey, y'all, I'm not playing no games. This ain't about no games. This is about limiting access to me. I'm not going to get, if you're not ready to invest in me, you cannot have access to me. This ain't about no game. This is about, and you can make it clear, get my PCC, and you want to tell him what you want to tell him, type it in. I must reduce access because, honestly, you and I are not in alignment. We want very different things. I think you're a wonderful guy. I think everything about you is wonderful, but I also know that the truth is that my alignments and my core value system simply says that this is what I need to be doing right now, and this is what I want right now. That wasn't combative. That wasn't combative at all. I told you what I want. Y'all got to get this PC. Last night, we had 50 people to sign up, just last night. For those of you who want to change your communication, maybe you want to tell your mother. Maybe you want to tell your mother how you've been feeling, but you don't know how to say it. The PCC will help you. Maybe you want to tell a sibling that y'all fell out 10 years ago. 10 years ago, and you don't know how to say it. The PCC will help you. PocketCommunicationCoach.com. Y'all, this is going to change the world. I promise y'all, I've been working on this. I've been working on this. I've been working on this because I realized as a coach that if I could help people change their communication, if I could help people change their communication, I could change the relationship. NW says, what if he says it's over and try to come back, coach? Should I make him take the class? If he says it's over, NW, and tries to come back, then again, he wants access to you. But if he's been able to come back all these other times, then what you're doing is enabling him. You're enabling him, and he's thinking, why would he not come back? Okay? Just being honest. Some people don't comprehend. It's like talking to a brick wall. Then you know what that means? That means that you are enabling them. Because Cree, if they're not listening to you, that means that your actions are not lining up with what you're saying. Period. That's just it. Because people don't hear what you say. They hear what you do. That's what it is. Then you must be, Cree, enabling him. And now, family.